So hey everyone, hi. So in this video we're going to talk about some hooks and callbacks inside the useQuery hook itself, and yeah, we will be talking some new things. So let's get back to our screen. So here you can see the list of topics which we are going to cover right now. So one is the types of refetching, then the use callbacks. So we are anyway using callbacks, but there will be one more callback which I want to talk about, one or three of them, sorry, yeah. And then the query retries, and we will create a small app where we will try to refetch on click. So okay, so what I will do is, let's go from backwards, that is fetch on click. So what we will do is, I will just take you back to my app. So yeah, so currently what we can do is, let's say whenever you want to fetch anything on click, you can always use the refetch hook of that particular. So currently if you can see, we have two use query, one is for user query and then one is for the teams query. And let's say you want to refetch this teams query on button click, you can always use the on click event handler of refetch. And now if I show you, like whenever I try to fetch profile, it is very fast, but as you can see, only one is getting fetched, that is the profile only. So this is what fetch on click is. Now let's see what is query retries. Okay, now there are times, like if you remember in my last video which I told you, that by default TanStack query, like whenever there is a fail in loading, right, it always try to refetch 3 times, which I have showed in the video. But let's say if you want to configure that, you can always free to do it. You can do it on the per global level also, and per query level itself. So let's do it query level itself. So if you want to retry, not here I think, yeah. So if you want to retry, you can give the retry attempts, or if you want to do global level, you can always go to your query client, and inside default option queries, you can define the retries. But I don't suggest to do this, it's totally up to you. And then let's say if you want to change the stale times, right, stale time, you can also change that. Let's say if you want to change the cache time, which is by default of 5 minutes, you can also change that. So this is all about the cache and retry. So what this cache time is, like if I want to show you very quick demo of it, let's say if you navigate from one tab to another tab, that time. So let's say if I go from one tab to another tab, okay, I will just make a video on that for you itself. So let's say we create another page here, okay, let's call it as test.js, okay. And what we do here is let's create a test.js, and here let's use DOM router, that is const navigate equals to use navigate, and here we will try to navigate to the next page on button click. So test page, we'll show a button here of go back, and whenever the user tries to click on this, he will be able to go back to the home page. So that is nothing but navigate where to the home page, okay. And in our router.js, we will try to define that route. So what I will do is, I will copy this, I will paste this, I will make a page called test, and I will import a page called test. And now in our home.js, what I will do is, we will create another button called navigate, okay. And now on click, what I will do, guys, I will try to navigate. So this navigate, we haven't imported it yet. We will copy it from our this one, home.js. And my main point, what I wanted to show here is make your concepts clear before I jump between topics, so that's why I'm doing this for you guys. So yeah, we have made this button. Okay, test.js is not met corresponding. Okay, let's see. So we have a page here. Let's rename it to, always try to keep it camel case. And in our app.js, let's make it test. Okay, now let's see. Okay guys, okay, now let's try to navigate. I think the navigate is not working here still. Home, on click, navigate to where? To the, okay, we have to navigate here to the test page. Okay, now if we navigate to the test, we can go back. Now what I wanted to show here is, let's say you have some data which is already fetched, right? So if I go back here and navigate, I go back. Now see my network tab. Okay, I navigate, these are loading, these are fetching. I go back, this is still loading. But what if I change the stale time from the cache time to, let's say, of 2 seconds. See now, as soon as we have done this change, let's see what happens. I will try to go in flow with you so we both can see what is happening before I try to explain anything, right? Okay, so I will just try to make this network fast, no throttling, fast 3G. Okay, 200. Now every 2 seconds, if you see here, right, we are not doing anything. Okay, so what it does is, every, like the cache time interval, we have set it 2 seconds. Now if I go to navigate, all this cache is automatically cleared. It became inactive, which you saw, right? And there is nothing in our cache, anything left. Now if I go back, it fetches again. Okay, but as soon as I go navigate, it becomes inactive, though those cache is getting cleared. Okay, we can't access it and it's gone. So that's what I wanted to show. So by default, keep the setting as it is, but the cache time is very crucial here, so let's not play with it. Okay, so yeah, this was about use cache. Now let's talk about another thing, that is nothing but the callbacks. Okay, so let's go back to the callbacks. So callbacks is useQuery contains 3 major callbacks, that is on success, on data, and settled. So the data which you see, right, the data is what you get from the fetch. Okay, and that time you get the data, that is profile is loaded. Okay, and then you have something called error, which happens whenever there is an error. Okay, and then there is something unsettled. So unsettled is just like, if you remember, we have try, catch, and finally, right? So we have the same something called unsettled, which basically runs whether it is a success or whether it's an error. It will show up here. Okay, and whenever it's a success, that time the error is null, as you can see. So these are the main this callbacks that will fire. Yeah, so now let's talk about, I think, something which being fetched, types of refetching. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to show. By default, TanStack query, let's say whenever you fetch from one window to another window, it automatically fetches and goes to stale. See again, I switch, fetch, and stale. So by default, this is called refetch on window focus. Okay, so by default it is set to true. You can always set to false, and you can also change it on global level. So just a quick note, guys, whatever we are changing here, you can always change it on the global level also. So when I say global level, basically it means this one. Okay, the default options. So also we have some more refresh, that is refresh interval. Now let's say you have an app where you want to fire the query every 1 second, let's say a stock app or something, so that time this is very important. So if I show you now, it will each time it will go from fetch to stale every second. See, fetch, stale, fetch, stale, fetch. Yeah, so this is about this one, and it is only happening to the profile one, if you can see here, right? But anyways, now let's see what else we left. So what is, yeah, this one is also important, fresh refetch on connect, and this is also by default handled by TanStack query. So this plays a very important role. So let's say refetch on, currently it's set to true. So what happens is whenever your network goes offline, right, I will just show you a demo also of it. So let's say whenever our data is offline, like stop it, come on. Okay, it stopped. Okay, so let's say whenever data is offline, so you can just click on that, it will automatically mock offline behavior. What happens during this is, let's say your network is enabled now. Okay, when the network is enabled, it will automatically fetch. Now you can keep it as it is. By default the value is set to true, but if you want, you can set the refresh on reconnect to false, but I don't suggest that. Okay, so this was about it. So guys, see you in my next video. I hope you liked this. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment below. Thank you, have a nice day, bye.